quicker.
All right, well, let's hear a little bit more about theProphet. What would you like to say about yourself?
Well, I think I've actually covered a lot of the different elements. I've been in the music scene for decades, 7 years, electronic music production. I'm not only am I doing music under the OurTrees banner, but I'm also doing music under quite a few other bands. I mentioned I work with Cameron Jones under the name Murder Noise. I do my own Genova project. I work with Candy F. Warhol and Gaggle. I do Dirty Lint with my dear partner Bailey, who's interviewing me right now. And there's Slug Filth with Rusty and the rest of the gang. Like, there's so many other bands. There's probably like another handful of bands. Like, I can't even name all the bands on this interview that I'm being involved in. And then on top of that, I'm always down for like trying to pass down my knowledge or skills to other people, and that's going to take the form of either I'm trying to do some mixing lessons right now. If anybody wants to know anything about mixing or making music and electronic, I have information on the Infidel Netwerk website, which is my website. We'll talk more about that later. And I'm also hoping to actually offer my mixing services. Like, if you don't have the time to if you have tracks done, but you don't have the time to learn all the ins and outs of mixing, you're just like a music composer, you can send your tracks to me, and for a nominal fee, I'll mix your tracks for you. So I'm a busy guy, I got a lot of projects, but by doing that, I got a lot of skills to offer the rest of the world. So,
Alright, so production-wise, not only in OurTrees, in multiple bands, you are doing what?
Well, I play synthesizers and work with the samples. That's how kind of I started in the business. But then, eventually it moved. I did some time at Nimbus School of Recording Arts, and they taught me the ins and outs of how to work with equalizers, compression, reverb, delay, all the standard mixing effects. And then that was just kind of a taster for me, because they kind of worked with a very analog sort of like hardware gear, and like nobody has the money to have like a $10,000 studio console. Like, most of the stuff nowadays, if you talk to like even professional recorded albums, done on record labels, and like they're like multinational record labels, and it's all done in the box. And in the box, I mean, like on computers with like virtual emulations of this hardware. And so, like, over the last couple of years, I've been learning pretty much everything from like Waves, IK Multimedia, like Arturia. If there's a plugin company, I know how to use their plugins in and out. And so I've been utilizing and trying to figure out how I can combine them all to their best ability to maximize the sounds of all the bands. People will bring sounds to me that and I'll turn into rub wars. This is what I do. I'm not going to take the sound and turn to anything it wasn't supposed to be. Obviously take everything that people bring to me and just turn it into something louder and more energetic than what they brought to me in the first place.
Alright, so tell me a little bit more about the Infidel Netwerk.
Oh yeah, I mentioned the Infidel Netwerk a few times. I keep wanting to go into description of it, but now I'm getting my spotlight. Infidel Netwerk is, I hesitate to call it a record label, but it has a lot of the functions of a record label. But it's a media platform for artists, musicians, entertainers, creative individuals of every sort, to be able to promote, distribute their product and in their creativity. But not only that, the long-term goal is to be able to provide a platform for these people to not only get their art out to an audience to consume, but also to find a platform for artists to connect with other artists so that they can improve and evolve their art. Because right now, you see these bands and they try to tour for X amount of years, playing the same sort of genre, playing the same sort of songs, writing the same sort of themes. That you see that with every single popular band from 80s, 90s, 2000s, whatever. It's the same themes recycled over and over again. And it's like in recent years with electronic music, we've seen fusions of styles. We've seen rap cross over to rock. We've seen dubstep cross over into pop. We've seen everything. And it's just like, but they're usually one-off hits, one-hit wonders, and I want to see, my goal is to be able to connect people, to turn that atmosphere of collaboration, of mixing and matching styles and breaking boundaries, and turn that into a platform of success, where people can do that continuously and release it continuously and always have ways to get it to more people.
So what I'm hearing is that the Infidel Netwerk, on top of its physical ideologies, it's it's also about community and artist community support, right?
It's key in the word network. It's a network not only for the bands to connect to fans, but also bands to connect to each other, bands to connect to promoters, band to connect to anybody, like everybody to connect to everybody in the industry. It's not, right now I'm centering it around bands, but eventually it's not going to be just about bands. It's going to be about fans connecting to fans. It's going to be about people connecting to people, because in the end, creativity is what keeps humanity whole. I know in this world we see what the media wants us to believe is money makes the world go around. But money doesn't make the world go around. Money makes finances go around. Creativity makes people go around, because before there was money, people were still making art, people were still growing food, people were still trading, people were still communicating and helping each other. I just want to bring it back to that raw thing. You don't need money to have community. You just need community. And maybe the money will come after that. And that's my goal. I'm doing half of these services for everybody in the Infidel Network for free. And the goal is eventually to make money. But that's the goal. I don't go up to these people and be like, yeah, you're going to pay me $10,000 to produce your album.
It doesn't work, does it?
Maybe for some people, but it's like that really limits your ability for only certain people to make music, and that's not what I'm about.
Lots of diamonds in the rough out there.
A lot of diamonds in the rough out there, for sure. I know Jessica, for instance, I don't know if she was ever going to do anything with her tracks. They were a side project for her at best. And since we've been working together, and I'm not taking credit for any of her creativity, but since we worked together, I've taken my music more seriously, and she's taken her music more seriously. And the music that I thought was never going to get released got released. And now the music that she thought was never going to get released is getting released. And that's Infidel Network right there. So
it's a give and take, but it's giving positivity and taking positivity.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, well, before we go, let's see what's on that pillow behind you. We can't really see on the screen.
This right here is my magical book collection. And you wouldn't think, based on the amount of positivity that I am glowing from, these are some pretty intense books. Like, I'm gonna see sinister covers, right? But sinister covers don't necessarily mean anything evil. It just means don't judge a book by its cover. Look at these hairs, but look at the knowledge that's coming out of this mouth. Read books, friends. These books right here is why the Infidel Network is happening. Yeah, me and Jessica met, we made music, but we could have just released music. But now we want to take this music to the next level, and these books, and reading, and connectivity, and magic, and spirituality and community, it's all connected. Don't close your mind to anything, whether it be a scary book, or a scary guy, or a scary world. Because there's information and a lot of diamonds in the rough out there. And that's what the Infidel Network's about.
Alright, well, anything else?
No, we're going to end it. We're going to cut it. That's what the Infidel